Live on a beautiful, well, it was a beautiful Friday night. The weather's finally warming up. It was sunny. It was not too hot that I could keep the windows open. It was not too cold that I could wear shorts. Everything was going great. We were all excited. We had a practice for my kids' baseball team, right? Everybody was in great spirits. The Guardians are at home tonight. The Cavs are at home tonight. It could be a big night in Cleveland. Well, it could turn out to be a big comeback for the Guardians. I'll mention that briefly in a little bit. They actually just scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th and have 2 on. And how many outs in the inning? 2 outs, yeah. And with the time run at second, as Jose Ramirez just got a sac fly to make it 6-5. That's the potential good news. Hopefully they can come back and win the first game of this series and win their 5th straight. Unfortunately, the bad news is the more important game, and that's the playoff game tonight. An absolutely pitiful performance by the Cleveland Cavaliers just when we all started to believe. I wanted to believe in this team. We've all wanted to believe in this team. We believed in them last year when they had a great regular season. We believed in them when they dominated a terrible Heat team, and then they got wiped out of the playoffs. And we all said nothing matters in the regular season. And they had a mediocre regular season, and they made trades for James Harden and others. And they had an unimpressive first round, and they got us a bad start in this series. But they'd won 3 in a row. Biggest road win since LeBron in Game 5. And we thought maybe this team had turned a corner, and maybe they still have. Maybe they just needed to get one more bad game out of the system. Maybe they'll go to Detroit on Sunday night and take care of business and win this series after all. In the end, if the Cavs do win on Sunday, then okay, no harm, no foul that it took 7 games. The Pistons are a pretty good team. They're feisty, they're competitive, they're physical. Ultimately, all that matters is win. So if the Cavs do take care of business Sunday, then I'm not going to say, we believed and it all went to hell. No, because they would have still won the series. However, if they do lose Sunday, we were fooled by the last game because tonight was just an absolutely dreadful performance across the board. Outside of that big run the Cavs made at the end of the first half where they played really well for a few minutes, they were awful. I mean, just awful. The offense was non-existent. 43 points in the second half. And Donovan Mitchell, not James Harden. James Harden, he didn't play great, but he played You know what? In the end, neither one of them played really that well. But I'd say Harden played better than Mitchell. But still, what have we said all along? The stars got to play like stars. And what's funny in this game is the 3 best players, none of them really played great. Cade Cunningham had a great first half. He didn't do much in the second half. But the Cavs' 2 stars, and even Evan Mobley, like Harden was okay, Mobley was okay, Donovan Mitchell was bad. Who played well for the Cavs? Who had a good game? I mean, Jared Allen was fine. Sam Merrill played nice on the offensive end, but his defense was atrocious. Dean Wade, Mr. Defense, was terrible. Even Mikey McNuggets texted me and said Dean Wade's defense has been awful tonight. But the Cavs are the gang that can't shoot straight. From 3, they shot 34% from 3. That's with Harden going 3 of 8, but even he cooled off late. And the free throw shooting, I mean, Evan Mobley, again, 18.6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Not pretty good, but 6 of 14 for the field for a guy who, shoots near the basket. He took 5 threes, but still, I mean, he was 4 of 9 from inside the paint. Yeah, it's not good enough. 4 of 8 from the free throw line is terrible. James Harden was 6 of 13. Donovan Mitchell was 6 of 20. He took some terrible shots. James Harden again with the bad turnover. We talked about it. You have 20 turnovers, you're going to lose, and that's what happened. It was too many easy buckets for the Pistons. And even in the half court, they for the most part, outplayed the Cavs, which I never thought would happen. It was just a brutal effort. I really don't think anybody played well. I think Harden and Mobley played well at times, but it wasn't good enough. It's a game to close it out. You got it done. You won the road game, and now you have a chance to end the series. Beat the number 1 seed on your home floor, and your 2 best players scored 41 between them. Your 3 best players scored 59 between them. That's not good enough. Can't have that. Only 75 points from the Cavs starting lineup. 75. It's not good enough. What's funny is it's actually more than the Pistons starting 5. But the Pistons had Paul Reed and Duncan Robinson get 31 off the bench and another 17 from Sasser and LeVert. The Cavs bench, Sam Merrill had 10. Max Strus, who was great last game, was awful. He was 2 of 9 from the field, 6 points. And that was it. That was it. I mean, so 16 points basically from the bench outside of garbage time in the last 2 minutes. Schroeder did nothing. He was 0 for 4. 3 turnovers in 15 minutes. He had 5 rebounds, assists, and points combined and 3 turnovers. So an awful performance by him. The Cavs outshot by the Pistons. The Pistons shot 44% from 3. Having Duncan Robinson back was a big deal. He was great. 14 points, 4 of 7 from 3. Paul Reed made everybody played 16 minutes, had 17 points. And Jalen Duren, he was back. We made fun of him. We wrote him off. They didn't even have a good game from Tobias Harris. Again, Kate Cunningham, I think, scored 4 points in the second half. Tobias Harris, they had 27 from Cunningham and Harris. And the Cavs lost by 20. How did that happen? They were the more balanced team in this situation. It was the others for the Pistons that won this game. Sasser, 4 of 5 from the field. Reed, 7 of 9. Duncan, 4 of 7. Thompson, 4 of 6. Jenkins, 5 of 11. I said he wouldn't have a big game again. He did. He had another 15 points. And Jalen Duren, who had been a total bust in this series, 15 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks, a steal, 0 turnovers. I mean, the Cavs just got their ass kicked tonight. They got it handed to them. They played with no sense of urgency. They played like a team that was up 3-0, not 3-2. And now you got to go to Detroit. I'm not saying they can't do it because they just did it in Game 5. But are they going to do it again in Game 7? Maybe. I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm not sure. The Guardians, fuck. Now it's 7-5. Chase DeLauder unfortunately didn't come through, and then the Reds have tacked on an insurance run in the 9th. So 7-5. So it's not going well for the Guardians either. They appear to be on the verge of defeat. Just a terrible night. Absolutely terrible. There's so many messages right now. I just don't even know what I can read here. I'll try to read a few of them. As you see, the Pistons are favored by 3.5 in the finale, Game 7 on Sunday. We don't know the time yet. Depends what happens in the other game. The Spurs are winning 22-12. I can't remember. I think it's a later start if the Spurs end their series, but I can't remember now what the deal is. Okay, so I was right. If the Spurs end their series with the T-Wolves, it'll be an 8 p.m. start in Detroit on Sunday. If the Wolves keep that series alive and send it back to San Antonio, the Cavs and Pistons will play at 5:30. So there you go. Thank you to Max, who's working the show today, for getting me that info. So we'll keep an eye on that. I guess I'd rather have an 8 o'clock game. It's a weird situation for me. I may be traveling on Sunday, and this is just such a bummer. It's just such a bummer because it so felt like the Cavs turned the corner, and then just to not only lose, but to lose in such a terrible way. Pistons are minus 165 to win Game 7. Cavs plus 135. You see it there. Over-unders 2.5 or 205.5. I know everybody's going to be really negative right now. I get it. I know it's hard to believe in this team. I think they could. I still think they could win Game 7, but you know, it's hard to have confidence in the Cavs in Game 7. But if you're a Pistons fan, I don't know that you're all that confident either. And there's a lot of people talking trash on here. I don't know if they're Pistons fans or Knicks fans or whoever the fuck they are, but it's easy to talk shit after oh, you thought they were going to win? Yeah, most people thought they were going to win. They were favored. They were at home. Well, don't be an asshole. Like you're so fucking smart. And stop it. The team is a roller coaster, Arubia. Mr. Magic Mike, trade Mitchell if they lose. Listen, if they lose this series, I don't even know where to go from here. They may trade Mitchell, and he hasn't played great in this series. They're going to need him to play great in Game 7. The idea that because the Cavs won by 4 in overtime, they were going to lose today is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard of. It's really dumb. I don't even know what people are talking about right now. Jim Foster, you're a dumbass. What is wrong with you? I don't know why I'm wasting time reading messages from dumbasses. Let's see. Wayne says, if the Cavs win Sunday night, which I probably won't watch, you'll watch. I'll know there's something very rotten in Denmark. Forever Sealed and Chris, we love you, Adam, but it's Detroit versus everybody. Why? If you're a Detroit guy, why do you love me? I didn't even know who the hell I am before this week. Michael says, Bull, I love you, but the season is over. Kenny doesn't make adjustments. Come on, we weren't saying that before this game. What, JB, such a brilliant coach? Even a lot of Cavs fans, man. A lot of Cavs fans right now. I get it. I'm pissed too. This game was a shit show. I thought the Cavs would win. I thought the Guardians would win tonight. I mean, I know it's baseball, so it's more random, but Guardians have one last chance in the bottom of the ninth. Reese Hoskins just popped out. That sucks. And Zardo pinch hitting, or no, he pinch hit already. He's in the second at bat here in the bottom of the ninth. Huh. Reds using TJ Antone to close. That's interesting. Maybe the Guardians could at least hit us with a late rally, something the Cavs couldn't do. Man, that was just... Okay, he says, I watch UCSS because I'm a Browns fan, Knicks fan too. Okay. I don't mean to curse everybody out. I'm just pissed just like everybody else. And like the idea that we should have expected them to lose, I just don't buy that. They've been great at home. That's the one thing we've been able to count on with this team, that they're great at home. They were 6-0 at home. But it's like the scales had the balance. They finally won a road game. Now they finally lose a home game. And the Cavs did get bullied. You're right. JB's not such a great... How many great... Come on now. This is not about the coaches. It's about the players. Kenneth, I don't love Kenneth, but this is about the players in the NBA especially. Come on. The Cavs lost because their star players didn't play well enough. Dean Wade was garbage. He was so garbage. Even Mike can't defend it tonight. He admitted to me, as I said earlier. He texted me and like, what did he say? He gave me a stat here. Let me look at this real quick. What did he text me? Got so many texts I can't even keep up anymore. What did he say here? Wade has been bad too, even defensively. Detroit has a 149 offensive rating when he's on the court. That's horrible. Dean Wade, your only job is to play defense, and you sucked at it tonight. Absolutely sucked. So, to me, nobody played well. Mike was like, when we were texting, he's like, yeah, and this was, when the Pistons first started spreading out the lead, I texted Mike and Jason, and I'm like, just when I started to believe, right, this happens. And he's like, well, James and Mobley played well. And I kind of agreed with him at the time. But, in the end, they played okay. I mean, James Harden didn't have a terrible game, but he can't turn the ball over 8 times. If you're going to turn the ball over 8 times, you better score 40. And just the Cavs just couldn't get anything going. They had no rhythm. They said it on the broadcast. And they were right. It was just that the offense never had any rhythm outside of a small stretch of time in the second quarter. That was it. Guardians got what did they get here? They got a base. Manzardo did he get a triple? I can't watch the game. I'm watching it on game day. Looks like he got a triple. I mean, I'm not that you're down 2 runs, so really a single or a triple. Well, I shouldn't say it's the same thing because single you could hit into a double play. But a double and a triple is essentially the same thing in this situation. Maybe the Guardians have a little magic. You got Martinez. You got Bazzana. Hoskins hit a home run tonight. That was good to see. But, Manzardo just tripled. Hey, Bazzana's got a couple of hits tonight. OPS up to 740 for Bazzana, 776. I'm not counting out the Guardians here. Let's see what they can do. Let's see. We got the time run at the plate. TJ Antone, he's nothing. Guy's been hurt a million times. He just got called up like a week ago. See if Angel can do something. I'm going to put the game on while I hang with you guys. I just remembered, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about this, that I could watch it on my phone. The hell am I doing? Let me put this game on here. I think I can watch it on my phone. Yeah, it's not blacked out. Not on my phone. There we go. Angel. Let's go. 1-0 count. I'll keep you up to date if you can't watch it right now. Maybe they could salvage the night a little bit. We'll see. All right. Let's try to get some more of your comments in here. Fendergird says guards will win the Central easily, but won't do anything in the playoffs again. Cleveland made Knicks will not do shit. I mean, we'll see. Right now, it's hard to talk trash about the Knicks. They've got to be a pretty big favorite to win the East. I'm not saying they will. I think the Cavs could beat them. I think the Pistons could possibly beat them. But, yeah, I can't be ripping the Knicks right now. Once we get into that series, if it happens, then let's, then we'll get down with it. Martinez grounded out the first, so it's Manzardo scores, but that run doesn't really matter. It's 7-6, 2 out, nobody on, and 1 Mr. Travis Bazzana coming up. This would be a pretty sweet time for a home run, Travis. Forever sealed in Christ DJ. Bull, be honest, Pistons are better. I don't think the Pistons are better at all. I don't. They were better tonight. I think the Cavs are the better team. I think they should be the better team, but they weren't tonight. Come on, Travis. Ball 1. How about the announcers, Bull? Yeah, I didn't love them. I didn't love the broadcast. It was okay. It was all right. Got some fastballs being lost in the mix. Ooh, nasty pitch. Swung through it 1-1. Let's see. Ronnie says the offensive rebounds were killers for the Cavs. Way too many that led to second chance points. Cavs got a lot of rebounds too. And a lot of opportunities on putbacks on the offensive glass, and they couldn't get it done. Oh, shit. Bazzana just got robbed. Oh! I mean, it wasn't a home run. I'm going a little over the top. I think they were going to review it. No. Shit. He hit a bullet ground ball to the first base side of the second baseman, Matt McClain, who made a diving stop in short right field. That is a great play. And he got up and he throws out Bazzana. Man, Bazzana's way faster than I thought he was. Like, he hit that ball. He crushed that ball. And because he hit it so fast, even though McClain was in the short right field and had to dive, a lot of guys are thrown out easily on that play. But that was really close. But they got him, and that game ends in disappointment, too. Final score, Reds 7, Guardians 6. Tito Francona gets a win back in Cleveland. So the shitty night gets worse. All right, folks. Sunday's a little up in the air. I'll be honest with you. I have some personal stuff going on in my family. Yes, Mo Y8XC. It is Adam the Bull from WFAN in New York, although it's been a long time. I've been in Cleveland almost 15 years. In fact, August 18th will be my 15-year anniversary in Cleveland. Jim Foster says, Bull told me to F off. I'm famous, but seriously glad to see you getting healthy. Thank you, Jim. Thanks. I know a lot of people made comments. And I was actually just looking at a video that I did when I was at my heaviest, 2.5 months ago, and a video that I did today. And I was like, damn, man, I have lost a lot of weight. I still want to lose a lot more, but I have lost a lot. Let's see. Mitchell and Mobley are our Supermax stars. They need 30 in a closeout at home. They shit the bed. Yes, they did. Forever Sealed says, shout out to you, Bull. We rock with you in Detroit. I appreciate that. Blank Stalemate says, happy 15. Not yet. I got 3 months and 3 days. My son is celebrating a birthday on Tuesday, by the way. He's turning 13. My little boy is going to be 13 years old. He's not little anymore. He's taller than I am. Not that that's a, not that I'm tall, but still, he's only 13. Titans rule. Bull's an adopted Cleveland native. He has long suffered with the rest of us. It's funny that you say that. I was talking to my wife this morning, and we were actually talking about this morning, and I said, we were talking about the fact that it's almost 15 years that we're living here. And we were both saying how we never would have thought. Like when I first moved here, and I've said this before, I didn't know Cleveland. I'd never even been to Cleveland before moving. Well, I had come for a visit a couple of weeks earlier, but before that, I had never been to Cleveland before. And I never thought, like my goal at the time was Cleveland was a stepping stone to get back to New York. That was my mindset at the time. And it stayed that way for my first handful of years here. I liked it here. I loved doing the show. I loved the people I met. But still, for a number of years, I would say probably 5-6 years, maybe even a little longer, maybe 7 years, whatever it was, I was like, I still want to get to New York. That's the goal. That's the goal. And then somewhere, at one point I had an opportunity to take a job in another market. It was in New York. But I was like, at some point it was like, I like it here a lot. I think the only way I would leave is if I got an offer in New York and Chicago. Maybe Philly. That was my mindset maybe by the 6-7 year mark. And that didn't happen. And then eventually I was like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. And now my wife and I were like, and we've been this way for a while, but we were kind of talking back how now we can't even imagine. I'll always have the New York blood in me. That's where I grew up, and I still have love for where I was born and raised, right? It means a lot to me and who I am. But my wife and I would never want to live in the New York, New Jersey area now because there's just so many things we like about Cleveland better. Yes, it's tricky in terms of like when you have a family situation like I do, and I'm going to have to go into New York for some family stuff, and that makes it a little complicated. But overall, we love it here. Couldn't be happier, and I can't imagine ever leaving. It would have to be a pretty bizarre circumstance for me to ever. I think I'm going to just live here the rest of my life. Because I'm never going to retire. I'm not going to be some, guy who's going to take my ass to Florida. I'm not doing that crowd. First of all, I don't want to live in Florida. I like visiting in the summer. But I'm not going to retire. I could do this the rest of my life. I don't know. I think I can. People talking to me about retirement. I'm like, I don't want to. What am I doing? I do the UCSS. I do the podcast. I love doing it. I talk with the fans. I have some fun. I'm out here schmoozing right now with you. What am I going to retire for? First of all, I'm only 54. I'm not that old. Although my 55th is coming up pretty quickly here. So I mean, at minimum, I want to work another 10 years. But if they don't force me to retire, I'm not going to retire. I could see myself doing this into my 70s. I really can. That's why I got to get healthy, and I am. Maria Bravia, you love St. John's, right? Yes. St. John, even though I grew up in New York and lived my first 20-plus years in New York, St. John's is my only New York team. That's it. I did not root for any other New York. It's not like I changed when I left New York. I never rooted for any New York teams. I hated the Yankees and Mets. I hated the Giants. Jets I was kind of neutral on. If I had to say a New York team as a kid that if I had to pick a New York team that I would root for to win, it would probably be the Rangers in hockey. But I didn't care enough about hockey. I was fine with the Knicks. I didn't like them or dislike them. I was kind of a Celtics fan as a kid. Not uncommon. Loved Larry Bird. But I really wasn't. I didn't really have an NBA team, which is why I've adopted the Cavs. And I before coming to Cleveland, I was neutral on the Guardians. I didn't dislike them or like them on the Indians, but I liked those 90s teams. They were fun as just a baseball fan. But obviously, I'm not a phony. You know that. If the Cubs play the Guardians, I root for the Cubs. But now I love the Guardians too, and I root for them passionately when they're playing everybody else, the other 28 teams. Let's see. Sorry. I thought I could get through the show without blowing my nose, but I've been rambling on and on. So I have to take a moment to blow my nose. I still got this cold that I can't fully kick. Listen, okay. Bryce Baum's prediction on Game 7. It's so hard to predict. You know what? I thought the Cavs were going to lose Game 5, and they won. I thought they were going to win Game 6, and they lost. So my gut tells me the Cavs are going to lose Game 7. So I'm going to go against my gut, and I'm going to pick them to win because my gut's been wrong now 2 games in a row. Hopefully that trend continues. Cavs in a close one. Let's see. Mariva said Colin showed G. Bush on the herd today. Yeah, G. Bush was able to get Deion Sanders on his podcast. Well done. I haven't seen how many views it's had. I'm guessing I wouldn't be surprised if it had 1 million. Rubio. So any Cleveland sports fans actually your favorite? So it's funny because the Cavs are my favorite NBA team and the Guardians are my second favorite Major League Baseball team. But if you ask me, if you ask me, would I rather the Guardians win a World Series or the Cavs win an NBA title, I would take the Guardians to win the World Series. So even though I would say, in all honesty, my feeling is the Cubs are still my favorite team of any sport. The Bengals are second. Third is very close between the Guardians and St. John's. I'm not sure at this point what would mean more to me. I think I love St. John's, but I just want the Guardians to win a World Series so bad. So I'll say Guardians 3, St. John's 4, and then Cavs 5. Those are my 5 favorite teams. Now, people are going, you don't really believe whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I can't convince you. Whatever. That's my top 5. I will admit that the Browns are my least favorite of the Cleveland teams. But because I have so many fans that are Browns fans, I'd put the Browns 6, which makes no sense because I'm a Bengals fan and they're in the same division. But I would put the Browns 6. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. Not really. I don't really care about anybody else. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Drama says the Cavs are lazy. Roger says, yup, Harden with another 8 turnovers. Beth Jazo says, Bull and Fox with my jam. Delmonico's, baby! Great steak and great lobster bisque. Rest in peace, George. Chris says, you're a Clevelander now, Bull. I certainly am, man. It's in my blood now. It is. Long Island Railroad going on strike at midnight. Well, that sucks for the commuters. Glad we don't have to deal with that shit. Don't have to sit in any traffic. Beast Grills, man, I was so salty. I'm working on my NFL predictions now. SW Lion, Cleveland's cool. I lived in Lakewood for a year and a half. Anybody that doesn't like Cleveland has never lived here and probably never been here. There's nothing wrong with Cleveland. If you make fun of Cleveland, you're a loser because you just don't get it. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect. No city is perfect. No. And when I say Cleveland, I mean the greater Cleveland area, Northeast Ohio in general. It's a great place to live. Are there flaws, especially in the city? Sure, there are flaws in every city. It doesn't mean it's not a great place. It could be better. We need to build up the lakefront more. There's definitely things that could improve, but overall, it's a great place to live. And if you shit on Northeast Ohio, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Trooper the German Shepherd. Bull, put your life savings on Detroit money line and set your family up for the next generation. Jeez. Big Dog, I watched the game. They outplayed Cleveland. Yeah, they did. FN said Harden played okay. Everyone else played badly. Joe K-back, speaking of New York, Yankees just beat the Mets. I actually hate the Yankees more than I hate the Mets at this point. So, when I was a kid, I hated the Mets way more. Because actually the Yankees weren't very good, and the Cubs and Mets were in the same division. But so far, I'll get one of the three rivalry games that I'm rooting for because the Cubs just put up 6 in the last 2 innings and then beating the White Sox 10-4. So at least the Guardians won't lose a game in the standings. Not that matters much. Cavs lost focus, lack focus and discipline from Jordan. Pete says, really annoying when you let nobodies and nevers beat you. Big Dog, I grew up watching the Blackhawks and the Cubs. Elephant, Cleveland's the only sports market I could think of where the most popular team in the town is the worst of the three, by far the worst of the three. Let's see. Dave says, would the Wizards trade the number 1 overall pick for Mitchell? They would not. Big Dog, Detroit's going back home. It's over. Detroit's going to beat them. Neil says, I'm so tired of the sloppy play and turnovers. Mitchell needs to get his head out of his ass. Rubio, love Cleveland. Been a Cleveland sports fan my whole life. I live about 1.5 hours away and will visit at least once a year for the weekend, usually baseball playoffs. We love the city. Tony says Cavs in 7. James says we play best with our backs against the wall. Win in Detroit. Ernest says Cleveland had their shot to close out the number 1 seed, and they were blown out. Order was restored. Doug says, what's with all the Cleveland talk? I'm riffing. It's not that we got to defend ourselves. I'm just riffing right now. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. You could leave. Titans rule. I've lived in New York long enough to realize the Midwest is the best. Corey says, that's facts, Bull. Cleveland is the best town. Call home. Adam says, I'm the man. I appreciate that. Roger says, I would be surprised if the Cavs win on Sunday. Joe, on the other hand, says Donovan's going to drop 40 on Sunday. Well, folks, I'm going to try to be on Sunday after the game. But as I said, I'm not going to get into what's going on, but there's some family stuff going on for me that may prevent me from doing a live show after Game 7. I'll put out a tweet because I'll know by earlier in the day Sunday if I'm going to be able to do it. So I'll put out a tweet on Sunday whether or not I'm going to be on. I mean, I really want to be on Sunday, and I'm going to try to, but I can't say for sure just because things are very unsettled in the situation I'm dealing with. So I'll let you know. Everybody have a great night. Try to get a decent night's sleep coming off this terrible loss. We'll hope for the best and a big bounce back on Sunday. Hopefully it's not the last meaningful basketball game of the year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Love you all. Thanks for the kind words. I'll talk to you all later. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks to Drew and Max for producing. We'll see you next time on the Ultimate. No, it's not Ultimate. It's the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet River. See you, everybody. Love you. Good night.